Good morning, everyone. Before I begin, I want you all to check something, not on your phone, but into your own experiences. Right now, how many of you all feel tired in a way that even sleep doesn't fix? Or have you got so used to it that you've even stopped questioning it? Most of the people who feel this way have been doing almost everything right. They've been studying well, working hard, achieving success, staying responsible, yet being quietly overwhelmed. Here's the paradox. Most of the people who feel burned out are not careless. They're intelligent, they're educated, they're disciplined. So, where's the issue? The issue is not missing information. The issue is not lack of information. The issue, rather, could be the important skill which is missing, which was never taught in our education system. Think of our education system. We were taught what to think, we were taught what to remember, we were taught how to answer correctly. But we were never taught how to interpret our own responses to pressure, to demand, to expectations. We were never taught how to recognize when pressure slowly became stress, when motivation slowly became an overload, and when ambition slowly slipped into exhaustion. We all mastered information, but we never learned interpretation. And this gap has consequences. Let me share a small story with all of you. Few years back, I met a little boy, let's call him Abhishek. He was intelligent, he was smart, he was disciplined, he was scoring very well in his school. His teachers liked him, his parents were proud of him. But Arav started complaining of stomach ache before going to the school early in the morning, almost every day. But his grades were fine, he was disciplined. So the assumption was that nothing was wrong. But Arav started revealing something significant after a few days. He started sharing that he was feeling tired in the morning. But he was not somebody who was lazy, he was not weak. So what was going on? It was simply because he was never taught a simple language of reading his own experiences. When pressure slowly started converting itself into pain, when fear started to become avoidance. Now, this is not teaching failure. This is not parenting failure. This could be an education gap. Now, in this very room, we have highly capable people. We have students, we have entrepreneurs, we have doctors, we have engineers, different life path, different profession. But there could be an invisible common thread. Most of the highly successful people quietly say, I don't know why I feel tired. Everything is technically fine. Everything looks fine, but something doesn't feel good. This is not lack of intelligence. This is not lack of discipline. It could be missing awareness on personal signals. Now imagine you've just bought a car, which is made up with the state-of-the-art technology. The color of the car is one of your favorite ones. And this brand, let's assume, is selling like hotcakes in the market. So the assumption is that you should be able to reach your destination easily. But what if the dashboard is missing? No indicators, no petrol indicators, no temperature indicators. So when the system breaks down, as in when the car breaks down, we are shocked and we start blaming the car. You don't struggle because the system lacks capacity. You struggle because the signals go unread. Now, there's another paradox. The smarter we get, the better we are at overriding discomfort. We push through fatigue, we normalize stress, we ignore warning signals, and the society rewards it. And it usually happens in competitive environment. The society keeps telling, keep pushing, don't stop, stay competent. And we don't want to slow down unless the system forces us to. And burnout doesn't occur suddenly. It builds quietly over the period of time when perception becomes a missing skill. Well, when that little boy was given some help, hopefully, the best part is there's something that we can all do about helping such little ones. He was not introduced something complicated, no special labels, no special diagnosis. He was given something very simple, yet very, very effective. He was taught awareness as a skill. Now, awareness is not a personality trait. It's not a therapy. It's not a belief system. Rather, it is like any other skill, just like literacy, just like emotional regulation, just like critical thinking. Now, it is also like any other skill where it can be broken down into practical learning tools. Usually, our society talks a lot about how to stay competent, how to keep yourself going, how to work hard, and sometimes also about living under continuous stressful situations. But there's one piece which is missing, which is not often taught about, or we don't get to hear much about, that most people who break down are not weak. People break down because they don't know how to read themselves under pressure. Now, think about it. When a machine overheats, it's not always because the machine is not good. It could be also because the indicators are ignored. Humans also have indicators, but we were never taught to observe without pressure, without judgment, without labeling ourselves as weak. What I'm going to share now as skills are not some techniques, are not some self-analysis, or not some belief system. Rather, I call them as personal literary skills, skills which are important to read internal signals, to be able to resonate with internal signals. Now, these important observation and literary skills are something that could be helpful to all of us. First, pause before you push. It is the ability to pause before you put those additional efforts, instead of thinking that effort is the only thing that is required every time for success. Second, name without judgment. Describe precisely what you go through rather than attacking it on yourself. Third, recognize early indicators. Learn how to understand and recognize those subtle indicators before the system itself escalates. Fourth, notice patterns and not problems. Shift from thinking that I am the problem to what is that pattern that keeps repeating? What is it trying to teach me? Fifth, separate situation from self-worth. Understand that pressure is telling something about the situation and not really always about your self-worth or your capability. Sixth, choose and respond over reaction. Please create that sacred, safe gap between what you're going through and what is that next good thing that you can do. And seventh, my favorite, pause and realign. Don't try to curb those signals. Redirect, reset the directions before damage occurs. Now, these skills will not remove pressure from your life, but this will give you a dashboard. And when a person gets the art of reading the dashboard, then reading challenges becomes so much more sustainable than forced. Now, when the little one Abhishek, for instance, was given this, was taught these skills, his grades didn't go down, his discipline didn't disappear, but something very important happened. He started understanding something deeper. He stopped getting confused about how to understand his own experiences. Now, this is the power of awareness in education, where you don't remove challenges, rather make it navigable. Now, imagine this. Our schools teaching our children how to notice response patterns, how to relate to cognitive overload, how to pause before responding. These are not, probably belief system or therapy. This can be taught as some basic human skills. We could still teach them maths, we could still teach them science, but we could also teach them personality navigation skills. Just imagine how they could be able to relate with that beautiful inner understanding. We are now in a generation where information is overloaded. We are most informed in the entire history, I suppose. But cases of burning out, lack of clarity, disconnect is increasing day by day because information alone is not sufficient. The future doesn't need more information or more technology. It needs better interpersonal skills. Because when awareness becomes a large part of education system itself, then clarity becomes possible. And when clarity becomes possible, human potential gets breathing space. And that brings us to an important small question in education. When problem solving skills can be taught, when literacy can be taught, personality navigation skills can also be taught, isn't it? The next step in education is not loading more information. It is about teaching them how to interpret their own responses to pressure, to demand, and expectations. Thank you very much.